Dark Nova's Revenge, Chapter 9, A New Generation of Light. It has been 2 years since Rarity and Spike got married. Both really love to be married each other, and they still live in Ponyville. It happens that Rarity Lee is leaving Ponyville to see her other boutiques in Manhattan, Cantlot, and her recent open one in Baltimore. Spike was one now working at School of Friendship as a gym teacher, and he loved it. And so did the students as well. Morning, Rarity. I see you're going for a trip? Yes, I'm going to Manhattan to see how my boutique is going there, and I'll be gone for a few days. I hope you're having a good time there. Oh, Spiky Wakey, I will miss you. I'm well and gone. I will miss you too when you are gone too, but I know you'll be home soon. Yes, I know. I will see you in a few days. Rarity gave Spike a kiss on the cheek and she took her bag and left the house. Spike had the day off today, so he decided to relax and so they had chores at home. After he had his chores done at home, he decided to take a walk in town since it was a nice day. Spike walked around, greeted some friends while he was walking, and he ended up stopping by Sugar Cube Corner. He thought of getting some donuts for himself. Hello, Spike. How are you today? Hello, Pinky. I'm doing well today. What can I do for you? I thought I'd get some donuts. Of course. How many donuts do you want? Spike thought for a brief moment if he should take chocolate donuts or just regular ones. I think I'll take regular donuts. 4 donuts are coming right up. Soon Pinky gave Spike a small box and he took it. It will be 10 bits. Here we go. I see we're been busy a lot lately. Yes, it has been, but I don't mind. It gives a lot of smiles at it every day. Just take it easy now and then. Pinky nodded and Spike left Chicuku Corner and he went home and he sat down in the living room to read his Daring Do while having donuts. Spike did miss Rarity, but he does have a but he knows that she will have a good time in Manhattan. Meantime, in Manhattan, Rarity had just arrived at her boutique and was greeted by Coco Pumel. Welcome, Rarity. Hey, Coco. Thanks, I've been looking forward to being here for a while. Of course. You want some tea? You know it quite well, Coco. Coco went to make some tea while Rarity sat down, and she looked through Coco's new designs. She thought that they were good, quite good, and she knows that they will be selling well. Here's the tea, Rarity. Thanks, Coco, and I love your designs. Oh, thank Miss Rarity. You're still working on them, though. When you finish them, you have my support to sell them. Thanks, Miss, so much, Rarity. Both were sitting and have a small talk while enjoying their tea together. How is your married life so far? It is amazing. Spike is a true gentleman. I'm a little jealous of you, Miss Rarity. I'm sure you will find a good stallion yourself soon. I hope so too. After they had both worked in a boutique for a few hours, Rarity had a good time with Coco Pomel. After they closed the boutique for the day, thanks for helping me today. It's but just fun to help. How about we go to a restaurant for dinner? Asked Coco. It sounds like a good idea. They left the boutique and went to a restaurant nearby. Rarity was happy to spend time with her friend Coco, and Coco had invited Rarity to stay at her apartment during her stay in Manhattan. This food is really good. It is really good. Thanks for letting me to stay in your place. It's not just my pleasure. It will save you a lot of staying at an hotel. I don't mind to stay in your place though. Coco smiled and both enjoyed their dinner, and afterwards they went to Coco's apartment, where they sat in the living room while having some tea together. They were small talking about their previous fashion shows and about where they both attended together. Rarity was happy to be at her boutique in Manhattan was going well, and it was also thanks to Coco Pomel. Later they went to bed around 10 p.m. since they were going to go to work together at the boutique tomorrow. That night, Rarity thought of Spike. I really miss him so much. But now he has a good time in Ponyville. The next day, in the morning, Spike woke up around 7 a.m., as he always do. He made himself a breakfast and read the morning paper. I hope that Rarity has a good time with Coco. After he had his breakfast, he flew to school, and when he arrived, he was greeted by Starlight. Morning, Spike. Morning, Starlight. Have you any plans for today's gym class later? Yes, I have a plan today. Great. If you need any help, Sunburst can always help you. Thanks, appreciate it. Spike went to his office, where he did some paperwork. Hours later, Spike were having his first gym class. Okay, class, today we are going to have a dodgeball. All the students shared to the class that they were going to have, and the class was going well. And while they were having a good time, Spike heard a voice behind him. Hey, Spike, how's the class going? Oh, Sunburst, the class is going quite well. How did you work? It's going well, taking a break. Asking to... Just to get some fresh air. It's good to take a break now and then. You've heard anything from Rarity? No, I haven't heard from her. I think that she's quite busy though. I can get that. When you're working in a fashion world? Exactly. But I support her no matter what. It's good to hear. The same for me. I support Starlight at her work. Spike nodded, and both he and Sunburst watched the students play dodgeball. After school was over, Spike walked around. He was thinking about Rarity and hoping that he was having a good time. When he got home, he found a note on the door. He saw it was from Discord. This was not the first time Discord leave a note like that, but Spike already knew what it was about. He took the note down, opened it, and read exactly what he thought it was about going to be. Hey, I'm inviting you and Big Macintosh for game night since it's been a while, and if you got the time, send me an answer back. He is such a good friend. I will send him a reply. Spike went inside and wrote a short message, and he said that he will be there. I just got one back from Discord to tell the game night will be in 2 days on Friday, 4 p.m. Spike was looking forward to it, since the last time he played with his friends was just about a month ago. At the same time, in Manhattan, Red was working with Coco at the boutique when she suddenly started feeling a bit sick. She went to the bathroom. When she came back, Coco looked at her worried. Rarity, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay, just felt a little bit sick for a moment. If you're not feeling well, you can just go to the back office to lay down. No, I'm fine, I think it's passed. Coco nodded and both went back to work. But 1 hour later, Rarity felt sick again and repeated a few more times in less than 2 hours. Coco was getting a little bit worried now. Rarity, you're not okay. Let's go to the hospital to have you check that. No, I'm fine, Coco, don't worry. No, I will take you there and the other staff can look after the boutique while meantime. Rarity eventually agreed. So she went with Coco to the local hospital. At the hospital, after the doctor had taken some tests on Rarity, she was sitting next to Coco as a support. I hope this is not serious. Well, it's nothing to be worried since me and Spike are immortal. Perhaps she got just a stomach flu. That might be it, said Rarity. Soon as the doctor returned, she sat down and looked at Rarity. Well, doctor, what's the problem? Well, Rarity, I have some good news for you. It's just a stomach flu, right? No, it's not the stomach flu. But I can tell you that you are pregnant. Rarity was shocked about the news, and Coco was speechless. Since Spike and Rarity weren't trying to have any children, are you sure I'm pregnant? Yes, I am 100% that you are pregnant. May I ask how far along she is, doctor? Asked Coco. Miss Rarity is about 2 months pregnant. I can't believe it though. Can you tell me if the baby's healthy? Yes, the baby is quite healthy. I recommend that you will take it easy from now on and drink plenty and eat right diet too. Rarity was still shocked of the news that the doctor just told her. I promised to follow this. I will give you some pills for the morning sickness. Thank you, doctor. After they had left the hospital, while they were walking back to boutique, it was silence between Coco and Rarity. Rarity was still in a shock of the news. She didn't expect it that, but first believed it was just a stomach flu. How will you break the news for your husband? Asked Coco. I I don't know yet. Well, I'll figure out something. Yes, since you will be showing eventually. Yes, I know, but I just I want to figure out a good way. I know he will be excited about it. He will be happy about it since we talked about having a children one day. He will be a great dad. I know in my heart he will be a great dad. When they went back to the boutique, Coco asked the staff how the things has been while they were gone, and said that they said it was just being normal. They asked how Rarity was doing. Coco said that she was fine, that she just had a stomach flu. Rarity had told Coco not to tell any pony about this, and Coco promised not to do it. That evening, Rarity was laying in her bed thinking about how to tell Spike about this pregnancy, since they had talked about starting a family at one point. She's still in a shock about it, about the news, but she wondered how Spike would react. She knows how her family react and her friends will react, especially Pinky, who will throw a big party to celebrate it. 2 days later, Spike went to school having an afternoon class. He was looking forward for the game night that he was going to have with his friends at 4 p.m. He knows it was going to be fun and always are. Okay, class, that's all for today. Thank you, all. Hope you have a good weekend and remember, rest as much as you can. We promise, Mr. Spike, said all the students. After class, Spike went over to the school building and he went to Starlight's office. He knocked on the door. Who is it? Starlight, it's me, Spike. You have a moment? Of course, Spike. Come in. Spike walked in and he saw that Starlight was taking care of some documents at her desk. How was the class? The class went well, actually. I'm glad to hear that. Are you heading home? Yes, actually I am. You need help with anything? No, I get this. There's only a few documents. But Spike could see there were more than just a few documents, and he rolled his eyes and looked at her. Starlight, I can help you with that. You don't have to help me. I'm not in a hurry. If you want to go faster. Oh, okay, Spike. Thanks. Spike sat down and started helping Starlight, and it took them about half an hour until they were finished with all. Thank you, Spike, for helping me. It's no problem. If you need help me with something, let me know. I will let you know if I need help. Spike said waved goodbye to Starlight and left the school. And he thought he was going to have something to eat that evening after the game night. He thought a soup would be good as he went to the market to buy what he needed for the soup. At the market, he found everything he needed and he was shopping. He was thinking of Rarity, wondering what she was doing in Manhattan. She was going to get home in 2 days, and he was looking forward to that though. After they got home, he put the things in the kitchen and sat down in the living room to read something while it waited to 4 p.m. Later at 4 p.m., Spike went to a meeting spot at the town square when he saw Macintosh was already waiting. Are you looking forward to the game night too? Yep, I am. I'm sure Discord will be here in a moment. While they were waiting, soon Discord appeared in a portal that he opened for them. Sorry, I let you waiting. No, we haven't been waiting that long, says this Macintosh. Come on over, the game isn't all set. Spike McIntosh walked through the portal and ended up in Discord's living room, and they were wearing their outfits. Both sat down and started playing the game. While they were playing the game, me and Timmy made Haddon. Rarity and Coco had returned to Coco's apartment after a long day. How you feel, Rarity? I'm feeling okay, just tired after a long day. Did you take the pills the doctor gave you? I have taken them, and I might just go to bed a bit early tonight. You can do that. After their dinner around 5 p.m., Rarity said goodnight to Coco as she went to bed and lay down. And while she was in the bed looking at the ceiling, she was wondering how Spike would take the news. She knows that he will be very happy about the idea, but she just don't know how he will react at first, when she's gonna tell him the big news. 2 days later, it was time for Rarity to go home again. Coco followed her to the station. While they were waiting at the train station, Rarity was still a bit nervous how Spike and her family will take the news. Coco sat next to her and comforted her, trying to make her feel relaxed. Rarity, it will go well. Just take your time to tell him about the news. I will, though. I'm just a bit nervous. Spike will be thrilled when you're telling him. Still, I'm a little nervous how I took it at all with a big shock. Rarity, if it was me, I want to take it as a big shock too myself. Soon the train arrived at the station. Coco helped Rarity on board and the train. They gave each other a big hug goodbye, and Rarity promised to write a letter to Coco to tell how things went. On the train station, along the train ride home, Rarity was looking out the window the whole journey home. At home, Spike was taking care of the house while doing some cleaning, knowing that Rarity is going home. He was so excited to see his wife again. He was going to make her an easy lunch when she gets home. When he saw the clock was almost 1 p.m., Rarity's train will arrive to Ponyville at 1 p.m. He left the house and flew all the way to the station. He arrived just in time as the train were approaching the station. He was excited to see Rarity. When the train stopped, he saw her stepping out of the train. Rarity, I miss you so much. Oh, Spike, I miss you so much too. I made lunch for you at home, if you're hungry. Thanks, Spike. I'm a little bit hungry. They both left the station while Spike carried her bag for her. How was your time in Manhattan with Coco? It was good, actually. Good time. It was nice to spend time with Coco again. I'm glad to hear that. Did something interesting happen over there? When Spike asked her that, immediately the news of her pregnancy came to her mind, and she didn't tell him right away, but she would when she found the right moment. Nothing much happened, work, spending time with my friend, mostly. It's good to hear that. I've been busy with my work and always been played game night with Macintosh and Discord recently. It was fun, but always miss you as much. Rarity smiled and when she heard that. When they arrived at the house, Spike took Rarity's bag to the bedroom and went to the kitchen to make some lunch for him and Rarity. They both had pasta for lunch. I have missed your good cooking while I was gone. I miss your company while you were gone too. I'm glad you're home. I'm glad to be home too. After lunch, Spike went out to do some errands while Rarity went in the bedroom to rest for a while. She started to feel a bit sick. She started throwing up again. And she only had 2 of those pills left. She found out she needed to go to the hospital to get some more of them. Rarity left a note for Spike to tell her that she left the house to take care of an errand. And she left the house and went to the hospital. There, she asked for the doctor for some of the pills and explained the reason. And the doctor was understanding and gave Rarity some of the pills. If you're feeling any worse, come back then. I promise I will do that. Rarity returned home and she saw Spike was already home. Oh, you're back. Yes, I remember I had to do something, but it wasn't important though. Don't worry. Alright. Rarity went back to the bedroom to rest some more because she was feeling a bit weak due to her morning sickness. She was thinking of the right moment to tell Spike about it, but she wasn't sure when to tell him. A few days later, when Spike was doing some cleaning in the bedroom, he found something that he hasn't seen before. When he went to the living room to see if Rarity had seen this, "Sweetie, I found something in your bedroom. It's a type of medicine. I know you're not taking it. Any of this? Is there? Are you taking any medicine?" Rarity saw that Spike was holding a box that has her morning sickness medicine. She looked shocked and didn't know what to do at first, but she chose to come clean. "Well, Spike, that's a medicine for morning sickness." Spike stood there puzzled and didn't know what she meant. She looked at him. Then it hit Spike. As he looked at the box and back at Rarity, he repeated looking at it and at her a few times, then actually realized what she meant. "Rarity, are you pregnant?" Rarity was blushing and she looked at him. "Yes, I'm pregnant." Spike stood there. He walked up to Rarity. "This is great news, Rarity. I can't believe it. When did you find out?" "I found out when I was in Manhattan, and the doctor said the baby is healthy." Spike gave Rarity a big hug. She started to cry, and he cried too of joy. Since they had talked about starting a family together, they decided to go to the castle to invite every pony of their friends to a party to celebrate. When all their friends heard about the news, they all went to the castle as fast, especially when Pinkie heard about it. "This is gonna be the best party ever," said Pinkie. Pinkie immediately prepared the library with some decoration and a cake that she brought from Sugar Corner. Twilight wrote up back to Spike that she couldn't come due to facts on work, but she did send her best congratulations, her best regards to him and Rarity. Both of them couldn't be happier, and at the party, all the friends asked them if they knew it was a boy or a girl. Rarity said that it was a girl, and they made everyone even more happier. Sometime later, Rarity and Spike went to the doctor for doing an ultrasound just to see how the baby, their daughter, was doing. "Your daughter is doing well. I had to say she is healthy, and also to say it's my first hybrid child I have seen. We are both happy that are to have a baby soon. I can't wait, but we are a little curious if she will breathe fire as a baby. That's hard to tell right now since there are no records of any pony dragon hybrids. But I will give my guess she might be able to breathe fire. We will do our best to prevent that as much of it," said Spike. After Bolt and Reggie and Spike were so excited that they were preparing the nursery in their home while they're having some help from their friends and family. When Rarity's family was told about the pregnancy, they couldn't be more happier, especially Sweetie Belle, who was gonna be she was so overjoyed that she was gonna be an aunt. They had talked about a name for the daughter, and Spy took care of Rarity during the pregnancy, and she appreciated it. Starlight was okay if he needed to take a day off so that he could look after Rarity. Then the day came when the daughter was born. Spike was in Crystal Empire to see Shining Armor to help him do something when he received a message that Rarity was in labor. He was told by Shining Armor to hurry back home. Spike took the train home. "Please, Rarity, be okay when I get there," he said. Spike was so worried on the train ride back home. if something could go wrong. But when he arrived at Ponyville, he flew all the way to the hospital. When he was shown to the room where relatives were, he saw that she was holding their newborn daughter, Crystal Flowers. "Hello, Spike. Say hello to your daughter, Crystal Flowers." Spike walked up to Rarity with tears in his eyes. He picked up his daughter and looked at her while she was sleeping. "Hi there, sweetie. It's your dad. Welcome to our family." Soon Rarity's family was invited to the room, and her parents could not be happier to see their granddaughter. The next day, Rarity and Spike was allowed to return home. Both was happy that their daughter were in their lives. Both of them could have been more happier to have a family together, but they talked about having some more children eventually. But for now, they were happy to have their daughter in their lives. They were so proud to have a child together, and the biggest dream that came true for both Spike and Rarity, since both of them had wished to have a big family together one day. Their daughter, Crystal Flowers, was growing up. She was taught at a young age how to control her breathing fire by her dad. It was later learned that she could use magic, so she learned a lot from her mom, and her dream was to be a fashion designer like her mom when she was older. When she was older, she did work part-time with her mom. When she was 19, she moved to Manhattan, started working with Coco Pumel, and she was told that one day she will be taking over the boutique in Manhattan and she was so thrilled about that news. She continued to work there and even selling her own designs. She was happy for that day when they were taking over the boutique when Coco retired. And eventually she fell in love with a stallion who was working as a painter. They eventually got married, and after being dating for about 3 years, they eventually have two daughters and one son of them together. 2 years later, they had another daughter, which they named Willow Gem. She was like her mother, talented in magic. She often helped her mom with getting some gemstones by digging them up, or go to the caves where gems are usually found. She didn't mind that at all, and her dream as a young was to be a doctor, because she wanted to help others in need. When she was older, she applied for medical school. She was accepted in and eventually finished that after some time, and she was offered a position in Vancouver as a doctor. She took it, and she even eventually fell in love with a teacher, and they got married after being dating for 4 years, and eventually have three daughters of their own together. And she loved her family so much. 2 years later, they had a son which they named Florian Sparks. He was a very energetic colt while growing up, and he had his father's strength and fire breathing too. But when he was 15 years old, he told his parents that he was into stallions, and he was scared that they would kick him out of the family. But to his surprising, that they were just full support of them, and he was just happy. And his biggest dream was to be a baker. So he worked at part-time at Chicago Corner with his aunt Pinky. He later moved to Trottingham where he opened his own bakery, and it became a success. He eventually married a stallion who was working as a store owner, and they got married after being dating for about 3 years. They later adopted two daughters and one son of their own together, and Florian Sparks couldn't be more happier to have his own family. 2 years later, they had a daughter which they named Azurit Justice. As a filly, she always stood up for her friends if they needed help. Her dream was to be an author, since she loved reading mystery novels and romance novels. Her dream to be a romance novelist, as she did write her own short stories when she was young. She even got a first prize when she was 12 years old. That sparked her interest in being an author even more. Eventually, when she was 17, she published her own first book, and it was a success. When she was 20 years old, she actually moved to Manhattan to work as an author. She eventually started dating a stallion who was working as a carpenter. They even got married after being dating for about 3 years. They eventually have two daughters of their own together. 2 years later, they had a son which they named Blaze Ruby. He was a very energetic child was growing up, and he loved to read with his mom and dad. When he was in school, he got himself involved with the school paper, and he loved it. That sparked an interest in him that he wanted to work with as a journalist. When he was older, he moved to Baltimore to work at the newspaper as a journalist. At first, he had only a few short articles published, but over time, he was proving himself to be very qualified as a journalist and he had more published. And he loved his work there. He eventually fell in love with a mayor who was working as a nurse. And they eventually got married after being dating for about 5 years. And they later even have two daughters and one son of their own. Spike and Rarity couldn't be more happier to have such a big family together. And they had told their children how they met and how their dad confessed his feelings for their mother. But the story that they loved to hear the most was how their mom yelled out that gave Spike enough strength to fight off Dark Noah. They called their own mom as a true hero. And especially how she stayed by their dad's side while he was recovering, and that he couldn't agree more with them, since he's very grateful for that. His love for her has only grown stronger for each day, and her love for Spike has also grown stronger for each day. They promise to always be there for each other for eternity, protect them and others, including their own family, to no matter what happens. Both of them were both happy to have 5 children and 14 grandchildren. The end.